Hello everyone, my name is Tejas and this is the Squibbler. So yesterday Wizards Unite was surprisingly launched a little bit earlier in the US and UK. So the US and UK players got access to Wizards Unite a full day earlier than what was expected. So this is great news for obviously the US and UK players. If you haven't checked out my other video that I posted yesterday on how to play Wizards Unite, it's a complete guide on most of the things that I will talk about in this game. Go check out that video. It's live right now on the channel. In yesterday's video, I talked that I'll be going into specific details with regards to certain features that are available in-game, and that's what we're going to be doing from today's episode onwards. We're going to go into specific details. Today's video, we're going to be talking about professions. Now yes, for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that I don't like making videos at home because a game like Wizards Unite, you need to be outside playing this game. But unfortunately, I don't live in the US, UK, Australia, or New Zealand, and for that reason, I do not have Wizards Unite in my phone just quite yet. So because of that, I am still at home, and this shirt is technically still applicable to me. So there's that. But don't worry, despite not having the game, I'm still going to be creating guides and tutorials for you guys, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you're notified of whenever I drop any new videos. So I just want to say thanks to Zoe from Zoe2Dots for giving access to me to certain screen recordings that she had with regards to today's video. Without Zoe, it would not have been possible to show some of the screenshots that I'm about to show you in this video. So thank you, Zoe. Go subscribe to her. Her channel is linked in the description box down below. So professions in Wizards Unite. It gets unlocked to you once you reach level 6. So once you've hit level 6, then you get the ability to choose between Auror, Professor, or a Magizoologist. Now, among these three professions, I just want to put this out there before we go any further in this video. You can switch between these three professions at any given point in time, and you can do it any number of times. So don't worry so much about whether or not you will have chosen the right profession from the beginning. You can always switch to another profession if you wish to do so. Now, despite the ability of having three professions and the ability to switch between these three at any given point in time, you still want to focus your attention and your time and effort that you're spending on just one of these three professions. And the reason for that is because for each of these professions, you have a skill tree, and for this skill tree, it takes time and a lot of effort to upgrade your skills as you move further along down the skill tree. For each of these professions, there are 16 levels of skills that you need to acquire, and as you move further along this skill tree, the amount of time it's going to take to acquire these skills is going to take a very long time. The reason why it's going to take a long time is because to unlock these new skills, as you move along on your skill tree, you need to unlock those skills using books, restricted books, and scrolls. Now these three items are available to you through rewards in-game and leveling up and other methods as such. So by acquiring these books and scrolls and attending lessons, you will be able to further increase your skill tree for whichever house or whichever profession that you have chosen. So because it is an exponential increase, I would recommend that you definitely focus on just one of the three professions, because focusing on all three professions at the same time is going to be very, very time consuming, and you're not going to be leveling up your skill tree as fast as you would want to. Of course, whatever skills you earn through one of the professions, those skills will not be carried over onto another profession. So let's just say, for example, if you chose to be an Auror, whatever skills you gain as an Auror will not be transferred over once you switch your profession to, let's say, a Magizoologist. You'll have to start from wherever you have left off at the Magizoologist. Of course, don't worry, if you want to switch back to being an Auror, all your other skills that you have gained previously will still be there. It does not reset back to 0. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, there are a few things in Wizards Unite that you can choose, which actually does not really affect your gameplay. Those things being your wand and your house. Choosing whatever house or whatever wand type you have will not affect your gameplay in any way whatsoever, but choosing your profession does affect gameplay, and it affects your fortress battles. So fortress battles and professions are kind of hand in hand, because choosing the right profession will ensure that your fortress battles go well as well. Now, I will be talking about fortress battles in detail in tomorrow's video, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. So among the three professions that there are, Aurors, Professors, and Magizoologists, which one should you be choosing? So here is a list of pros and cons that I'm about to list out for you guys, and then you can make an informed decision. First of all, Aurors are the offensive ones. These are the ones that are going to be attacking the most and have the highest offensive power. So Aurors, if you want to look out for a lot of damage, if you want to input a lot of damage to your enemies in fortress battles, then you definitely want to choose being an Auror. Of course, if you choose a Magizoologist, that is going to be the tank. So Magizoologists have the highest defense among the three professions. And professors are kind of like the hybrid in between the two. Now when I say hybrid, I don't mean that professors are really good at offense and really good at defense. They are kind of average, and their offensive power does not match up to Aurors, and their defensive power does not match up to Magizoologists. So they're kind of average performing, but they have kind of the best of both worlds. Now, among all the enemies and foes that you're going to encounter in fortress battles, there are three types of enemies that you will face. Those three categories are beasts, curiosities, and dark forces. Now, depending on which profession you choose, your profession would be either advantageous towards one of these categories, or it would be disadvantageous towards one of these categories. So if you choose to be an Auror, you're going to be strong against dark forces, but you're going to be weak to beasts. If you're going to choose Magizoologist, you're going to be strong against beasts, but you're going to be weak against curiosities. If you choose your profession as a professor, you're going to be strong against curiosities, but you're going to be weak against dark forces. Now, the reason why it's so important to have specific professions battle against specific foes is because of the following reason. Now, let's just say you are facing up against a beast, and you have a Magizoologist who is, as I said earlier, is more prone towards a defensive type of play. And since Magizoologists are more towards defensive, their offensive power is actually quite low. So their power is actually only about 59% when it comes to offensive power for Magizoologists. And Aurors, on the other hand, have a 100% offensive power. But despite Aurors having such a significantly larger amount of offensive power, when a Magizoologist and an Auror come up against a beast, the Magizoologist is actually still going to perform much better than the Auror would. The Auror will still take more damage and will not be able to inflict as much damage on the beast as compared to the Magizoologist. So if a Magizoologist is facing up against a beast, the Magizoologist will not only take in less damage, but it will also be able to inflict more damage than an Auror would be able to. Now, when it comes to the skill trees of each of these three professions, I'm going to put up an infographic over here on screen right now. Thank you to Orange Wizard for this beautiful infographic where you can see basically all of the details in one place. Now, these numbers that you're seeing for each of these respective professions, these numbers are the maxed out stats once you've acquired all the skills in your respective skill trees for your respective professions. Now, a quick glance at these numbers will once again show you and prove to you that Aurors are more prone towards the offensive type of meta, and the Magizoologists are tend towards the more defensive type of meta. And of course, the professors are kind of like the hybrid in between. They have pretty much a very balanced record when it comes to offensive and defensive powers. Now, if you're planning on playing with a group of other players, with your friends or family, you definitely want to make sure that everybody in that group has a varying amount of professions. So you don't want all of them to be Aurors or all of them to be Magizoologists. You want all of them to have a mix of all three. And the reason for that is, just as I mentioned earlier, when you come up against a particular beast or a dark force or a curiosity, you definitely want to tackle against these enemies depending on your profession. So if you have all Aurors but you're going up against all beasts in your fortress, it's going to be really difficult for all of you to defeat these beasts. So you definitely want to have a mixture of all three so that collectively it is easier for all of you to beat the enemies in the fortress. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Aurors, Magizoologists, and Professors have a 16 level for their skill tree. There are 16 levels in the skill tree, but they are a little bit different in the number of skills that you have to acquire. So Aurors need to acquire 137 skills, Magizoologists need to earn 142, and Professors need to earn 134. Now, while these numbers are slightly varying and it looks like Magizoologists require more, if we go into the specific number of books and scrolls and restricted books that is required for these skills to be acquired, you will notice that it's actually pretty even for all three of them. For Aurors, you will actually need a total of 430 books once you max out all of your stats, but for Magizoologists, you will need 465 books, and for Professors, you actually only need 320 books. But when it comes to the scrolls, Aurors are going to need 2,352, the Magizoologists will require 2,505, and Professors are going to require 2,325 scrolls. As for the restricted books, Aurors and Magizoologists will require 115, while Professors will require 223 restricted books. So if you look at all of these three different the books, scrolls, and restricted books, you will kind of notice that it's pretty even Stevens when it comes to leveling up all the way till the end. So there's no right or wrong answers to which profession you should choose. At the end of the day, it is completely up to you which profession you want to go for. Now, of course, given the fact that you are able to switch between professions, my suggestion to you is at the beginning of your Wizards Unite careers. So once you've hit level 6 and you can choose your profession, once you enter Fortress Battles, you want to do a little bit of trial and error for the next 3 to 4 levels. So around the time when you reach level 10, you should be able to get a good gauge of what type of Fortress Battle works best for you, depending on whether you're a solo player or if you are playing with a group of friends. Figure out which way works best for you. Do you like going all out offensive, or do you like being the tank in the group, or do you like a mix of both worlds? So play around with it, have a little bit of a trial and error. You don't have to choose right away once you reach level 6. You can of course switch in between those three. Figure out what works best for you. Now, I personally have decided what I want to choose, but like I said, I don't have the game personally, and of course I cannot choose right now until I get the game. So I'm not going to be revealing what profession I will be maining, but once I get the game, you will be informed of which profession I will be choosing. Now stay tuned for more videos on Wizards Unite. I'll be making more guides and tips and tricks for other features of Wizards Unite as well. Of course, for professions related videos, I'll also be making those in the future, because of course this is not the only video I'll be making for professions in Wizards Unite. There are lots of tools and guides out there which you can use, which will be helpful to you, and I'll be talking about those in future videos, so definitely stay tuned for that. Tomorrow's video is going to be on Fortress Battles. Like I mentioned earlier, professions and fortresses, they kind of go hand in hand together, so I want to make these videos side by side. So today will be professions, as you guys just saw, and tomorrow will be Fortress Battles, so definitely stay tuned for that. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter for any other updates. Hopefully we get the global release soon for the rest of the world. I am really trying to be as patient as possible, and I hope you guys are too, for those of you who are in the rest of the world. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.